like maybe they're coming from a title company
Right.
that aren't, and people losing money. And I had a hard time imagining that this could actually happen, but it does, and it's pretty prevalent. Is that the case?
It's 100% prevalent. It's the wire fraud in real estate transactions is the biggest risk profile facing anyone purchasing a new home today, and there's not a close second. You can talk about mortgage rates, you can talk about inventory, you can talk about all that, but what we have learned and what we experienced as wire fraud victims several years ago is that you have essentially international crime syndicates that have moved from other forms of crime into a new crime called business email compromise. And business email compromise is this idea that you're in a real estate transaction. You send, they pose as a party in the transaction. They send the real estate agent, they send the mortgage lender, they send the title agent, they send the buyer or seller an email that looks like a trusted email. The email is specifically designed so that if they click on it, they give up login credentials. So business email compromise is this idea that through what's called a phishing email, they gain access to somebody's email account. Once they're in someone's email account on a real estate transaction, they have all the information they need relative to the transfers of funds that are taking place. And then right at the right time, to what you were saying, they'll impersonate, if it's a buyer, they'll impersonate the title company. If it's a seller, if it's a title company as a target, they'll impersonate the seller for the sole purpose of redirecting that wire into the fraudster's hands. And when I say it's prevalent, you're talking about hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion a year getting lifted out of the real estate sector every single year.
I mean, I get chills. That's scary.
No, it's so sophisticated. We've seen instances where the fraudster sits and actually creates synthetic identities of all parties in the transaction. So if I'm the title company sending you, the buyer, an email, I'm sending it to what I think is you as the buyer. The fraudster impersonates you, so the email doesn't go to actually you. Then the real email gets sent from a synthetic title company to you, and they sit in this center node of all communications. We've seen it sometimes for weeks up until the transfer takes place, and then the money is gone.
How much money are we talking about? And I imagine it varies based on
the average loss that we see is right around $350,000 per victim.
That's devastating for somebody.
Absolutely.
Trying to find a home.
100%.
How do they recoup? How do they recover from something like this? Can they, or is it just you have to start over?
So why the numbers are so large? Roughly last year, 25% of all real estate transactions across the country were done in cash. The average sale price of a home was approaching $400,000. So that's just simple, math, right? Say, okay, more money is moving per transaction or per transfer than ever before. And why there were so many cash deals is because it was such a hot competitive market. There's a little bit of a rebalancing right now with what's taking place in real estate, but we're still seeing upwards of 20% cash deals. And that just puts somebody's life savings completely at risk. So what happens is the money transfers from, let's say, a buyer. Buyers are top targets right now, home buyers, for wire fraud. It moves from the buyer's account to what they think is the title company, but it's a fraudster impersonating the title company. What happens then? So what happens then is that fraudster, that syndicate, will have a series of money mules typically. Those money mules will do one of several things. They'll wire it out to overseas accounts. They'll convert it to cryptocurrency within a matter of hours, which is a huge deal. You could have cash withdrawals. We've seen cell phone bills prepaid. We've seen credit cards and gift cards get purchased. Cashier's checks get drawn. So not only are these bad actors becoming more sophisticated in how they infiltrate the transaction in the communication, but more importantly, once they get their hands on the money, the time frame to recover that is shorter than ever. Sometimes it's hours, sometimes it's typically like today or tomorrow. If you're not on this today or tomorrow, the money is typically gone. Yeah.
I can't imagine. That would be devastating.
It's just devastating. No, it just wrecks people's lives. And in real estate, if you take a step back and say, well, why is real estate the fastest growing? Wire fraud in real estate is the fastest growing cybercrime. If you track the FBI statistics, if you track the Treasury's FinCEN Enforcement Division, you track state and local, wire fraud real estate is just a bullseye for fraudsters. And it's for several reasons. One, the real estate transaction, on average, people are staying in their homes now over 12 years. So there's no muscle memory in a real estate transaction. And there's a high degree of trust placed on the real estate professional, the mortgage lender, the title company to kind of guide somebody through the process. You were a second-time home buyer. The agent correctly and proactively informed you of this risk, and it was the first time you had heard of it. It's not the first time it's been out there. So if you're not aware and consumers like you aren't aware, then what's to say that you get that email, it was a very competitive and hard process to go through right now to secure a home, and all of a sudden the email says, hey, rather than a check, we need a wire transfer, we need it today, here's the exact amount because I'm in somebody's email, please get this out. You wire it, 5 days later you show up to closing, and the closer says, hey, it's nice to meet you, and do you have your funds? Where's the cashier's check? And you look at it and say, well, what do you mean? I wired that to you 5 days ago. That is an experience that's taking place every single day across the United States.
You warn people all the time.
Yeah. So if you think about it a little more clinically, wire fraud is how they monetize the social engineering. The social engineering is the strategy that they use to conduct the business email compromise as a fraud. So there's a little bit of a waterfall here. One, I want to send a phishing email. I want to socially engineer somebody into believing that this email can be trusted. They're going to give up their account credentials, and it doesn't matter who's exposed in the transaction. There's typically 7 or 8 parties involved in a real estate transaction. Between the seller side and the buyer side, there's just a lot of hands in the, in the file, if you will. So if consumers and referral partners, if we're not educated as a community around real estate wire fraud, we're going to continue to see the staggering losses and the increases that we've seen year over year. So it starts with an honest and proactive conversation to say, hey, we didn't create this, but there's something bad out here that could affect your life savings, and your life savings could be gone within a matter of seconds. And it's real estate wire fraud. Here's what to watch out for. And the challenge is, as a real estate professional, so I'm on the title side and the legal side, we have, no one knows it's going on except the victim and the fraudster impersonating a trusted party. So the way you combat this is you look at it and say, okay, how much education and engagement are we creating on the part of buyers and sellers around this issue? That's step one. Second is, are we having an honest conversation about how and when money will transfer relative to closing? When are your closing funds due? And what can you expect from the title company that is going to be asking you for those funds? Is it a certified check? Is it a wire transfer? Could it be a combination of both? And then you have to be able to show, my argument here is that to engage that customer or that consumer at the highest level, they need to see a proper set of wiring instructions that they can trust early in the transaction. And that's what we created through the certified platform I'll get in a second. But education, engagement, how's the money going to flow? If you choose to wire funds, I'm going to send you and show that I sent you a proper, trusted set of wiring instructions way in the beginning of the transaction. We've seen situations where before the purchase agreement was even signed, buyers had wired out over $200,000 because a closing attorney, this was an East Coast wire fraud, closing attorney's account was hacked. The buyer was freaked out about losing the house, and there was some great excuse in an email why over $200,000 needed to get sent before the purchase agreement was even signed by the seller.
People are willing to throw money at houses right now to try and buy them, so it makes sense that somebody would be willing to jump all over something like that. It's unfortunate.
And again, if we have engagement and education and awareness, then we can combat those things that may show up in an inbox or through text message or a phone call. We've had fraudsters FedEx wiring instructions saying, hey, with all the fraud going on, don't trust anything by email. Here's a FedEx with our wiring instructions. So it's not, it's smart, right? So they'll continue to iterate, and nobody can prevent someone from being solicited for a fraud. We can't prevent that. Title companies can't prevent that. Real estate professionals, lenders, Law enforcement, no one can prevent that. What we can do as a community, like I say, is to say, okay, when that solicitation comes in, how prepared are they to identify the fact that this is a solicitation for bad reasons, not something that I can trust? They raise their hand, they get in contact with the trusted professionals, and then all of a sudden they realize this was a scam.
This is all pretty personal to you
Very.
as well. I mean, it's your business, but it's also happened to you.
It has.
Can you take us through that? What do you, what
Yeah,
happened to
yeah.
you?
Our journey in this topic is very interesting. My partner, Lawrence Stetler, and I formed Sun Title in 2005. In 2005, there was literally no real estate wire fraud. There wasn't even business email compromise as a label of, it was back then the Nigerian prince scam where you'd get the email, hey, my uncle died, there's 21 million here. If I can park it over the weekend, I'll leave you two because I'm that nice of a guy. That was the early days of what we would consider this type of trolling for funds. In 2015, we lost nearly $200,000 out of this office to a wire fraud scam. And we were in the process of coordinating a closing for a gas station on the southeast side of Grand Rapids here, about 6 miles down the road. We had taken in a certified cashier's check for $185,000. We had deposited that check. We had confirmed with our bank that the check had fully cleared the Federal Reserve, and then we wired funds to the seller off of that check. A few days later, that check bounced. The money went from Grand Rapids to New York. There was an international money launderer that had flown in the day before. I have a picture of her at the teller desk in Manhattan with her husband. She took $20,000 out for herself, and she sent 3 wires down to the state of Texas. In the state of Texas was a coordinated money mule network that pulled the money out, put it as a down payment on real estate, down payment on a commodities, I think it was aluminum ingots or something, but they then took the money and broke it up into smaller pieces. We spent 2 years litigating against the people that we thought were truly behind it. And it wasn't until we were called as lead witnesses by the FBI that we identified that the real perpetrators it was the Nigerian Black Axe, which is a syndicate, largest cybercrime syndicate operating globally. They had a cell in Canada, in Toronto, that was operating in North America, and we were caught up in just something so much more sophisticated. So I ended up having to testify against the number 2 guy in that syndicate in 2018. It was the 33rd conviction in the syndicate, and they ended up getting to what happened to be his brother and disassembling that whole network. What was a bit nerve-wracking on that experience is, okay, we had to litigate for 2 years to try to get as much money as we could back. These are bad actors, and leading up to the trial, in other co-conspirator trials, they were taking death threats out on witnesses. So I had to testify under FBI protective detail for safety reasons so that we could bring, these people to justice. And so it wasn't not only just a fiscal loss, but it was a very personal and safety related issue for me and my family and others in the company, because we were called to do what we needed to do. So it underscores this idea that we could get our heads around, okay, people lose money all the time, but these are bad people behind this, and they're choosing real estate wire fraud in lieu of human trafficking or drug trafficking or arms smuggling. I mean, it's literally they're making that conscious decision to say there's a greater rate of return here than there is somewhere else.
Were you able to get money back?
Yeah, we got a majority of our money back, but all of that was eaten up in legal fees.
Sure.
So
well, it can take 2 years, and if you're talking about a regular person buying a home, they don't have 2 years to try and make back that
you
money.
You don't have 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. So what came out of that experience is, and it's a cool story here for Grand Rapids, is we created a technology that's now the leading technology across the country to defend against wire fraud in real estate, called Certified.
And how does it work?
The way it works is we actually confirm the identity of the parties that think they're communicating in real time with each other. So the wire fraud and social engineering is an identity proofing problem because somebody is naturally posing as somebody else and they're doing it very well. They're creating an email that says, you know, rather than Acme title TITLE, it'll be TIT, you know, 1E. And those just small nuances, especially with everybody doing things mobily, you just don't catch it. Or over text message, you don't catch a burner phone number or a number that was newly created. So what Certified does is it confirms the identity of the parties, and then it securely transmits the wiring instructions, and we have proof digitally that that transmission took place between the proper parties. And then we were able to obtain a global insurance company that offers $1 million of protection per wire. So when all the dust settled on the trial and the loss, we took a step back and said, we have to find technology to help enable this process.
It's not widely used?
Yeah, it's being used on almost 10% of real estate transactions nationally. Yeah, yep.
I think we were with Chicago Title. I'm wondering how protected we were.
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah, they use a portal base that they homegrown, but yeah, this takes it to a whole different level. Yeah, we're able to fence in, like if you were receiving wiring instructions, I'd be able to pinpoint essentially the chair that you're sitting in, your device, all the history on your everything to make sure that, yep, you know, they landed properly and there was confirmation. And all that leads to just higher engagement, right?
I mean, it all sounds like a movie, but it's all real life to you. And I imagine, is it something that you think about every single time you're talking to a client or sending out a warning?
Yeah, because the thing that keeps it so fresh is there's always an aspect of human error that we'll have to mitigate. So real estate professionals have a hard job right now. Title companies, closing attorneys, real estate agents, and the fact that how much education, how much engagement, how much is enough? Because we're not there when the buyer initiates the wire transfer. We're not there when they're looking in a stressful, busy day at an email to say, are you going to be able to identify that this is not coming from a trusted source? So one thing that we did at Certified last year is we created a funds recovery services team, and we're up to probably 3 requests a day right now nationally from victims that are coming to us to help them reclaim their funds when they wire them. We have a very unique partnership with federal law enforcement that we work together, and we identify where the money moved. We attempt to notify those receiving banks and work on the victim's behalf to get that back. To frame that, we've addressed almost $50 million in loss this year alone. And that's money that landed in someone's account. And depending on the time of the transfer and the notice and when we're engaged has everything to do with our probability of success. Like if it was sent this morning, pretty good likelihood. Sent 5 days ago, not so much. 15 days ago, gone. Yeah.
It'd be a scary reality.
Well, and we've dealt with victims that were contemplating suicide for life insurance. So we've had elderly victims caught up in timeshare scams, or, hey, my oldest now has graduated and moved on, I'm downsizing, and I just lost all the life savings. I drained a retirement account because the stock market was doing well, and the money to buy the retirement condo is now gone. And we've had some very dark and challenging conversations with victims because you feel, and I felt that way, you feel violated, you feel ashamed, you feel like you did something wrong. Like it's that whole, like some trauma has taken place, and you can pinpoint it back to say, okay, I should have or could have, or you know, you just second guess yourself. So there's a, like I say, we talk about dollar signs, but I have felt the emotional impact of this. It's devastating.
Well, I think it's cool that, one, you have the personal story, and there's the warnings as a professional that you can put out in your emails and in your conversations with clients, but to have actually taken a proactive step and to try and stop it from happening, but also help those who have fallen victim to it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. We're doing really, really good work. You know, we're protecting billions of dollars of transfers every month right now, and that's That was our intent. And we didn't ask, for some reason, it's just something happens. You say, okay, I can wait for that to happen again, or we can be part of thinking through what a solution would look like at scale. So we decided to take the latter path, as hard as that's been.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Was there anything we're missing? Anything else you would add?
No, I think some tips for buyers to watch out for is if you're in market and you're in the process of buying or selling a home, and you're working with a real estate professional or a title company, and they haven't mentioned in clear terms the issue of wire fraud, and they don't have a proper education piece. This isn't a footer on an email. This is, hey, this is out here. Here's what you need to watch out for. Then you need to lean into that. And what you do need to watch out for is any email where, if you look at where the email is coming from, is it coming from a Gmail account or AOL? Is it coming from a domain that looks like there's a number or a dash or something that's off? And then go find the company's website. I mean, emails are typically tied to their natural domain that you'll find online. Never send funds without verifying the source of where those requests for transfer come from. Never receive wiring instructions through email. Don't receive it through text message, overnight mail, none of that. You simply cannot transfer, no matter what the communication is saying, because they're really, really good. They'll threaten loss of the transaction. They'll threaten you're going to lose your EMD as well, whatever. And buyers are hanging on by a thread, because with mortgage rates, the debt to income and some of these ratios are right at the number. Like, if they don't close on this, they know they're not going to qualify because rates have outpaced what they can afford. So don't trust anything through email. Always verify, and make sure you're working with a team that is taking this on as an issue, right? We can say that, hey, we have to do inspections, we got to do title and lending and all that, but wire fraud and protecting the life savings of the people that we're representing is also another key factor in what we need to be doing.
Well, because I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, how to prevent this, and I get the email communication requesting the wire transfer. And so I called the title company and said, hey, was this you? But I'm also picturing that person sitting in the hub of communication that you were talking about.
Yeah, no, they'll call the fraudster.
So the title company sent it, who they thought was the buyer, but it went to the the scammer, and then they sent out another one. So then this person calls that person, and they said, yeah, we sent something.
Yep.
But it's not to the right person.
Yeah, we helped in a recovery where a buyer was buying an oceanfront property in March, lost just under $1.2 million, and called to verify, and it was the fraudster impersonating the title company to verify the wiring instructions. So even if you're calling to verify, pick up find an independent sourced number, not the number that's coming through the text or through the email or through whatever communication. Yeah, that's another very important point for sure.